Let's see. Okay. Let's see if we're live. Let's wait for a few seconds to see what's going on. So, if you're watching the replay, hi, welcome. It's been a while. Let me put my thoughts together. Since it's been a while since we streamed, but yeah, looks good. So, hi everyone. It's been a while since I've done a show and a podcast here with my coffee, and I wanted to share with you my strategy coming through Q2, Q3, and Q4 of 2025 in regards to crypto and building, and how I plan to recover from all this uh, collapse that we've experienced through the lower cap algos, right? So, first of all, just a very if you don't know who I am, I'm Hernan. I've been building in the Web3 space since 2017. Previously a DJ musician, and I was previously co-founder and CEO of Soundwork. Um, Now I'm running product at Cage.fund, doing marketing for Cora Finance. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm also a crypto trader. I left kind of the day-to-day trade because, I was getting wrecked, and you usually when something that people don't understand, it's not only about losing money, right? You also tend to lose this confidence, and then you kind of say, okay, this is not for me, and this is definitely not for everyone, but I do believe that TA and proper trading is a very strong tool, and that is what I am going to leverage moving forward to make it all back and then some. So, without further ado, I wanted to share my thoughts in the market, where I think we stand, and more broadly, what I've been suggesting you on the timeline. So, the big question is, are we going down further or not? And I think that question is on everyone's mind. So let's get to the charts, shall we? The first chart that we're going to share with you is, let me share with you all my tabs so that you guys are in touch. We're going to redo this whole analysis so that you guys can maybe learn what I'm doing, and if it's helpful, then it'll help you move forward. So, how do we do? Let's first of all remove all drawings so that we are not influenced by this. The indicators that I'm using is, of course, volume. I use a stochastic RSI, and then I use a very important indicator that I discovered, which is MSB OB, which is the market structure break and order blocks. I'll show you about that later on, but first of all, let's do a general analysis, okay? Where do we stand on the market? Okay, so of course, Bitcoin's still bullish long term on the weekly, but the market, the rest of the crypto market has been decimated in this old crash. So what did change in me was the fundamental belief that altcoins tend to outperform Bitcoin. And because that happened so aggressively in twice, in 2017, 2021, you tend to have that recency bias. But overall, over the long term, altcoins strongly underperform Bitcoin. And that is a reality that we need to be aware of. Let me see, something's getting away with this. Okay. Anyway, so what am I doing here? I'm going to go to our chart, the Bitcoin chart, just for you to know. My strategy moving forward is I've been doing some evaluations at a very nice platform by Trader Main and CryptoCred called Breakout Prop. Yeah, and what they allow you to do here is, let me see if this loads. Okay, trading is a bit heavy here. Okay, so this is a dominance. Sorry for jumping all over, guys, but this is kind of the default graph that I always see. Okay, Bitcoin dominance. We're right now at 62%. It's actually looking bullish, and it's still within this channel, which is this up raising channel. Now, this little thing you see, this deviation, was the this from here, what, right? November, December run. I, I think you still remember the AI agent and meme coin craze. This was this drop, less than a 10% drop in dominance. That's the whole craze was happened here. And then we snap back out into this channel. Let me show you this channel and what does this mean? Okay. So basically, this is a long term channel that we've been into ever since we found the bottom in 22. So we're talking about basically almost what, 2 years in change that Bitcoin has not let up. So this has become mainly a Bitcoin market, and it'll continue to be so until we can manage to break down, right? So whatever Bitcoin decides to do next is how the market will react. So uh, a big importance fallacies that are no longer with me is that altcoins tend to outperform. Not really, or yes, for very brief periods of time. But as we can see, we are now breaking out of this kind of 62% resistance and dominance, which tends to make me think that Bitcoin rather kind of either pump aggressively or dump and gain another 1 or 2% of dominance. Um, Now let's see if we would have been trading this. Yes, we would see at the 4 hour that we've been forming this order block down here with the market structure break over here, which means this is a breakout. So this is in play until it isn't, and that's how we need to look at it. So regarding Bitcoin, let's see where we stand and go back to the daily analysis. So long term, right? We got this previous bear market, previous all-time high around this 69K, 79. Let's place it all the way properly here. Then what are we marking here, right? We're going to go, the thing that changed in my strategy is I was using all this diagonal trend lines, which they are sometimes useful to anticipate some moves, but they, when you're trading on a lower time frequencies, they can be very deceiving because they tend to be subjective, and and that's where you get a lot of fake out. So uh quickly done. This is the start of the week that broke down. This is the kind of the all-time high recent of 108, which I do think we will surpass in this year. But the big question is, are we going to come down to this previous all-time high and then reach up and break new all-time highs, or is are we done? Is the damage done? Now, because of the magnitude of this down candle, I tend to think that we might not be done just yet. So now these are the levels, start of this weekly candle, end of this weekly candle, and then top and down of this current move, right? Now let's go towards this. You'll probably be asking, why are my candles white and blue? I've taken this from Trader Main, and I think he hasn't talked about it, but my observation and my assumption is that when you see green, you automatically think profit. When you see red, you automatically think loss. Or green makes you think it's going up, and red makes you think it's going down, and that inherently has a subliminal bullish bias. So what you want to do is you want to be as objective as possible when analyzing the market. And what we're doing for this year is, and moving forward, hopefully, we're using the order block strategy. So how does the order block look? Okay, so basically it's like this, okay? We're gonna see a daily order block here where this thing is doing lower, this is a downtrend, right? We see lower highs and lower lows, lower low, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, and then what happens here? You can see it. I'm gonna draw a trend line just so you can see the break. This is kind of a market structure break, and I don't need to draw the trend line automatically because this is not what we're focusing on, right? What we are focusing on is what was the candle, what was the move that broke the structure. Right now, the move that broke the structure, right? I'm going to delete this so that we don't get confused and start thinking of the retest and all those methods that we were using previously. uh, is this one, this move, right? This is a move that right now broke structure. And now what are we going to do? We're going to use a drawing tool and we're going to draw a rectangle from the top to the bottom of this, of the down candle that started this bullish move on the daily that drove to that market structure break, right? And then you have this bullish order block. Now, this is not an offer solution to help us day trade, right? So we're going to delete this bullish order block and we're going to see if we can find a lower time. Generally, what I do is I tend to draw my actionable order blocks in the hourly time frame so that that is what going to allow me to trade. So now let's see, this is lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. We can see a market break, market structure break in here, right? And then what we need to do is, okay, this was the move that broke it. Now let's see if we can find an order block. So we see that this was the last down candle on that move that broke the market structure, the breaker. All right, so this is our bullish order block. Now you might argue that okay, this was the retest, and now we're done, and it might not come back to it faster. But I would argue that this might still come to test this bullish order block where we should be starting to get bullish. Now we are facing resistance around here, right? 84K and change. And we're seeing sellers starting to come in here. So on the daily time frame for today, I would tend to be bearish, meaning we'll go coming down for a couple of $1,000 to retest and enter this bullish order blocks. And I would be getting, and I was looking for buys over here. Now we have not yet broken down, so you cannot confirm this bearish order block until this breaks down, right? But let's see if we have a trade for today. Okay, so this is a great tool. Okay, so you see this is not perfectly the rectangles that I've seen, but if we do in the hourly, you'll find that the this indicator create allows you to mark the breakers and the market structure. What this is doing, right? This drew a better rectangle that I did. Okay, this was mine. And what this is doing is this is saying no, the candle that created the order block was here. And if you use this breaker block, you can even see that this retest would be along here. And you have another market structure break here, which was originated by which candle? Yeah, I'm not sure about this bullish order block here, but we don't see very short order blocks. Let's go to the time frame. So the bottom line is that we would be looking to long down here at the 82, right? Which is something that we generally miss because it starts coming back to this resistance, right? Let me hide this. And I've been doing this mistake a lot. I did it. It happened to me like 2 days ago, right? Coming down to this resistance and say, oh, whoa, oh, it's gonna break this support, and it's gonna dump like all the way to the previous support. So now we're coming back to 80K, and we're coming back to 78K. Now this still may be in play, right? Because if we'll see that on the 4 hour we do have this bearish order block, right? That might send us all the way here. And remember that there's this tariff talks coming into place tomorrow. This might create volatility, but this is the game, right? The reaction was triggered at resistance, at support, sorry, was a very huge spike up that broke the market structure, and that would have caught you off the guard. It caught me off guard because I did the very rookie mistake that I've been doing a lot of times on on the opposite side. So let's reverse the chart, and you can say we usually do this, right? It's coming up to this resistance, and we say, oh, it's gonna break this resistance, and now it's gonna pump, and then we try to long here, anticipating the pump. But this is where this resistance comes into play and it dumps all the way back down. Now let's revert it back. It's the same thing with support, right? We're trying to short support here. If you're trying to support here before it breaks the support, where you're in for a rude awakening because you might have been shorting the exact support. So the bottom line of this lesson, guys, and I'm gonna need to cut this stream short because I have a meeting, is you short into resistance and you long into support, not the other way around. You don't try to anticipate a break of resistance. You wait for it to confirm and retest that resistance into support, which is our uh, SRF flip, right? Support flip into resistance, and then you long, or you long the retest of a support. You do not short into it, right? And that is a very basic lesson that took me a long time to learn, but this is how the things go. I'll be doing more of this. If you guys drop a comment you like, I also shared with you guys an AI agent pick that I've been following. It's looking really good. I'll leave you with this, okay? I'm gonna share my screen again for you to. If you go into my Twitter, you look at this pick that I've shared. Maybe it's too early to start going into back into low caps and AI agents, but look, this is a very interesting project. I um, I, I I shared it in my Twitter, so come follow me at X Hernan Arber, and you will see that there's this interesting project called Edwin. Now, Edwin is a library that allows AI agents to talk to basically do DeFi operations. So take a look at that project on my Twitter. Go down my feed, and I'm gonna have to go now. But if you like the streams, I'm gonna make more for you guys. So put in the comments, send me a like, and let me know what you think. And have a great April Fool's Day. See you soon. Bye, guys.